Hello, this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. And today we are looking at nostalgia and marketing. And I got taken in. Um, I got taken. I I just got taken. And we're going to talk about that today. And I figure since I bought this game, I might as well do a game review as well. So it's kind of a double-barreled video here a little bit. The Before we get into it too deeply, just want to say thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers, guys. Great. And don't forget that like, subscribe, and bell icon to help me build the channel. Greatly appreciated. Now, this is the email that came. It showed up. It just got dumped into the promotions folder that Google Gmail does for you these days. And I ignore the promotions folder. I just do. And I happen to be in there, and you scan, and I clicked on this and I looked at it and went, oh, wow. Because the offer on this was really good. I was actually able to pick this up for $2 and 30 something cents. I believe the final cost was. But I'm, looking at it, and right away, what did I focus in on? What got me nostalgic? Yes, you know it. It's Eddie the Cyborg, the Iron Maiden. Riffed on Iron Maiden. Clearly, they're riffing on Iron Maiden, and I went, oh, I love that guy. I actually have miniatures of Eddie the Cyborg in my collection. Just when I need a cyborg gunfighter, I've got this guy right here ready to go in my game. And because I think he's cool. Not as big an Iron Maiden fan as I am an Eddie the Cyborg fan. So, I saw this cover, and I thought, oh, geez, gotta have it. We can hide that. And so Neon's Nightmare, Doppelganger Publishing. I had never heard of Doppelganger Publishing. I don't believe I ever interacted with them before, but all of a sudden I got an email from Drive-Thru RPG with an offer. So I decided to, without really thinking it through, I made the purchase. $2.30 something cents. When you're able to just pick these things up on publisher credit, you're like, yeah, I figured I'd do a game review, right? Well, I am going to do a game review. So here is the actual, if you go and track down Neon's Nightmare, if you don't have that email offer in your promotions folder, you will track it down on Drive-Thru, and you'll find it for $6.99, marked down to $4.95. And Doppelganger Publishing, they put a little umlaut above the A. I don't know why. Maybe they're European, speak one of those, other languages. Page count 41. And what else? Written by Jin Lunar and Gordon Gary X. Now, I happen to think, did a little digging, Jin Lunar and Gordon Gary X seem to pretty much write everything that Doppelganger Publishing publishes. Now, I can't categorically say that because it's 6 pages of listings on Drive-Thru. But it looks like Gordon Gary X is involved in like 90%, 95% of everything they put out for Doppelganger Publishing. And Jin Lunar is heavily involved in most of the sci-fi, which is not surprising with these names. I really think they're pen names, nom de plumes, pen names, like Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, that sort of thing, because Jin Lunar, I mean, who names their kid Jin? I mean, maybe, it was just one of those wild nights on, with Beefeater or Bombay or, Bathtub Gin, I don't know. And surprise, well, let's name the kid Jin. So it's really got to be it's a pen name. And Lunar I mean, he's heavily involved with sci-fi stuff for this company. And what else would you pick for a name? Lunar. It just goes. And Gordon, Gary X. Gary X seems like it could be a reference to Gary Gygax, maybe, kind of a little, point the finger in that direction, like, yeah, we're doing RPG. And yeah, Gary X, just because we admire Gary Gygax. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I just suspect these are pen names. Jessica Jaspers has, when you click on her name, she has 5 pages, not the 6, the full 6 pages of credits that Doppelganger Publishing has, but she's in there for 5 pages of credits in drive-through, all Doppelganger Publishing. So this would be the documents that are probably not the battle mats, because she is the layout artist. And then Tim Andrews. Tim Andrews is an artist, and he only does work for Doppelganger Publishing, has no other credits with any other company. He only does work for Doppelganger Publishing. He is not the only artist used. The first question after I bought it that I started thinking, like, is this product supported? So I, go right to Doppelganger Publishing, and I go looking, and I see, wow, they have a broad oeuvre of material that they are producing. Battle mats, cyberpunk, horror, fantasy, space opera, solo stuff, dungeon solo. I don't know what the difference is between those two, but okay. And so cyberpunk. And then I went and clicked on their stuff, newest titles. Okay, we see some cyberpunk, some sci-fi. They do have some fantasy. They seem to be doing a lot of cyberpunk and sci-fi of late. So cool. I expect this product to be supported. Then I started thinking, but wait a minute. What about AI? Does the company have a stance on AI? And I had not really read the rules yet. I had not really dug into the rules yet, but I started looking at the company and looking at their products, and I noticed that, like, one of the artists for one of their products was computerized. And I thought, that's a weird artist. Do they mean AI? I don't know. And then we began digging into what's going on with this company and AI. But before we get there, and you're gonna be looking at this going, dude, Tom, I don't necessarily automatically assume, oh, it's obvious that this stuff has been produced in a computer, so it must be AI, because there is a classic style that was done by artists in Photoshop with the Photoshop brushes that people will look at that stuff and go, oh, that's AI. No, it's not. The artist did it in Photoshop. They could show you their work, all the different layers as they built up this picture. And AI does work that looks like that. And so then you get this thing where people are like, oh, that's AI, and they're attacking legitimate artists unfairly. And so I didn't want, I don't necessarily want to go, Spanish Inquisition on this company, but I kind of wanted to dig in and really confirm. And I don't just want to dump some of these pictures into into a AI detector, because those are garbage. And what a lot of them are just detecting is the presence of basically the same brushes that are used in Photoshop by legitimate artists is what AI is also using. And so it goes, 86% AI. For example, I dumped this very classic Iron Maiden cover into an AI detector in the process just to see what it would do. And it came up 70 something percent human, and the rest percent. So then you got to make a judgment call. Well, what's our judgment call? I mean, we're going to go, oh, well, it's more than 51% human, so we're going to go with human. People, you have to start making these judgment calls with the AI detectors, and you also get some that, so what do you do when it says 62% AI, 62% AI? Do we go, well, that's AI? I mean, is it that it's picking up the Photoshop brushes? I mean, I put a photograph of my cat Lovey in there, and the 80-something% AI, because it was seeing those individual whiskers and fur, and it says, oh, AI does fur and whiskers like that, just like that, in that level of detail. So therefore, this must be AI. And, I told the cat, and she was not amused. Of course, she's never amused by much. I don't want to just jump to that conclusion on the AI. So let's actually talk about the product before we totally go to the AI discussion with this company, Neon's Nightmare. Now, I read the PDF and I had issues with it. And then I came, as I was doing this video, and I read something here, and it was like, oh man, this should have totally been in the rule book. It would have solved one of my issues. So they tell you about the game a little bit, and then they say gameplay. Neon Nightmare is designed for fast-paced action and easy to learn rules. This is true. I think the game delivers on this promise of fast-paced action and easy to learn rules, except this point right here, minimalist rules. And then they explain each skill is represented by a die ranging from 6 to 12. Roll a 4 or more for success, and an 8 or more for double success. Simple, direct. So what wasn't clear was they should have put this statement here about the rules in the rules. They just started going on about, roll a 4, and I'm like, on what? I wasn't sure. It was confusing, and after a little bit, I suddenly went, oh, it's like Savage Worlds, where you have they drop the D4 for this system, but it's D6, D8, D10, D12. Boom, boom, boom. And as you go up in skill, you go up to the better die. Same thing with like Star Grunt, Dirt Side, Full Thrust from Ground Zero games. They use the same style of mechanic. The quality of the troop might be rolling on a D6, but now they have cover. So now they're rolling on a D8 because they got that advantage. So they bump up a die. And, they have this whole thing. And that's what they're doing with this. But it took me a few minutes of really scratching the head to figure that out. And that was a little bit frustrating for me trying to read this. And so when they say minimalist rules, it might actually be too minimalist. There is a point at which minimalist rules are too minimalist, and they are right on the edge there with that. Now, quick character creation totally delivers on this promise. And it says here, choose from a variety of character classes, each with their own unique skills. Create your own character in just 5 minutes and be ready to dive into action. Yes, this is true. And I am totally into this now. Now that I played Swords and Wizardry Light with Eric Tenkar at ShireCon a couple times, I am so into this very thing of, I want minimalist, fast creation, minimalist rules. I'm totally geeking out on this. I'm totally diving into this brand of game rules, minimalist rules, fast player character creation. They have sample packs. They have basic starting backpacks in Swords and Wizardry Light, where it's an A and a B already printed on the card for your character class. Pick A or pick B, check mark next to it. That's your equipment. And this game does something similar as well. And so you can create these characters in 5 minutes and be playing. And that is a great feature. It takes away the one objection to pre-gens. People are like, oh, I want to create my own character. That's, the reason for using pre-gens is it takes too long to generate a character to do it at the table at a convention. and also this feature is really good for this game because I really believe characters are fragile in this game. You're going to die. Your character's fragile. He may not survive. That's fine. Roll up another. And takes 5 minutes and you're back playing. So the game totally delivers on that. Fast-paced combat. No long waits between turns. Every action counts, and pace is relentless. I believe that these rules deliver that. From reading them, I really think, yeah, this is going to be a fast-paced game. It's very simple. You're moving right along, and it's just boom. So you can use tactics like covering allies, taking advantageous positions, and performing strategic charges to gain an edge in battle. Now, here's one of my gripes. As I read this, I saw that point where you could, part of a class feature for like a fighter was they could take an ally under their protection. And it's said that in the rules. And then I'm looking, well, what does that mean? Having somebody under your, you're extending protection to an compatriot, an ally in the game, a fellow party member. I couldn't find it. I'm scratching the head going, where is this thing? And I got frustrated. I said, well, you know what? We're just going to move right along. It's probably someplace else in the rules. It was not there with the stuff. And now other conditions, as I'm reading things, were explained. This was not, and it was frustrating to me. I couldn't find it. So I got frustrated and moved on, just doing a quick review of the rules. So yeah, again, sometimes rules can be too minimalist, and I did not find that one thing, and it was like irritating me. So I moved on. Because my goal was not to run a playtest. My goal was just to review the rules and report on them. Now, a couple of features that are not listed here that we should talk about with this rule set is that it's very much like Zombicide RPG. The Zombicide RPG codified having a strategic environment into the rules that was your clubhouse, your home base, where you hole up against the zombie horde, and then you go out and raid into the tactical environment. You go on these tactical raids into zones, and they kind of had that feature in Zombicide, and this game has the same thing where you have a home base, and your home base gives you certain strategic advantages, like you could be in a biolab, so that gives a little benefit towards getting your character healed up. Whereas if you're in a warehouse, it's an advantage towards resupply. If you're in, like a banded subway platform, it could be another one of their locations, your home bases. So they codify this, and I really feel like this style of game, post-apocalyptic, cyberpunk, benefits from having the strategic environment be something that the players have a little more control over. This is our home base where we hold up. These are the advantages it gives us. I feel like that's good. Now, the other type of strategic environment that you see in games is like the classic keep on the borderlands. You have the players go out into the borderlands and they get chewed up by the monsters and they retreat back to the strategic environment, which is the keep, or the village of Hamlet, where they can heal up, resupply. We ran into a werewolf and we need silver weapons or magic weapons to fight that thing. And so when we go back out, we better buy some silver weapons. And you can do that at the keep. You can do that in a good strategic environment. Replace the lost. We've shot all our arrows. We need to buy new arrows. We need new food. We need you do that sort of thing in the strategic environment. And I feel like these cyberpunk and post-apocalyptic games really benefit from this almost codification of the strategic environment for the players. And so I like to see that. I actually really like to see that. I think it's a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't introduce into such a game a strategic environment Like, and I'm thinking the example that comes to mind is Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, the movie with Tina Turner in it. That Mad Max comes to Bartertown, and Bartertown is a strategic environment. You can resupply, and there are NPCs there who are quest givers. It's the classic keep on the borderlands type of strategic location. And you can have city adventures there if you want to run them. Mad Max had that battle in the Thunderdome, and so you could introduce that even into a post-apocalyptic or even into a cyberpunk setting. The cyber mall. You go to the cyber mall, and it's not a raid zone that you're going to raid, because this game is really set up where you're going to go into these zones. You're there to raid. It bills itself as a dungeon crawl in a cyberpunk genre. And so you can set up these classic strategic settings and have a lot of fun with them and have it be interesting and fun and useful. But I do like the fact that they have set up these home bases that you can retreat to. And, it's almost like that when you reach name level in D&D, you get to build a castle. It's almost like that, but it's first level right away. Let's have at it. You've got a home base and you're fixing it up and you're trying to make it better and trying to improve it. And you're stockpiling more and more stuff there that you gain on raids. Fantastic. So this game has this. This game also has a lot of random tables for stuff. And that's always good support for the game master. And I think that's fantastic. That's a plus in its favor. And my final plus for this game, I really think where this game would shine, or a game like this, would be as a convention game. This is a great game. You could bring it to a convention, particularly if you have a lot of miniatures and terrain. Just set up the table, set up the raid zone, and have miniatures available for the players, and just go. And because player character creation is 5 minutes, so have a little suite of PC miniatures for player characters, and this matches your character the best. Here, this matches your character the best, and just go with it. This would be great for a convention game. Don't even have to do pre-gens. Just have the terrain, have the miniatures. This RPG actually moves the needle a little bit back to the wargaming roots of RPGs. And that's okay, particularly for the people who love miniatures, love collecting miniatures, love making terrain, love collecting terrain and painting and doing all of that. If that's you, this game kind of is good for you, particularly if you've got an Eddie the Cyborg miniature like I do. So those are the pluses on the game. It's almost too minimalist in the rules. It's like right on the edge. It's frustrating in that. But I think a closer read of the rules, you would find all the little, all right, this is where they hid that rule on, protecting an ally. This is where they hid that rule on that condition. I think a closer read of the rules. And it's only 41 pages. Oh, one more positive. They did put a lot of artwork in. And the artwork is like every other page, although sometimes it's every 3 pages. They'll skip 2 pages and then put artwork, and then go back to the every other. They skip 1 page and then the next page has artwork. So that's a lot of artwork in 41 pages. So they did do a lot of artwork. And that is always something I comment on. Now for the AI discussion. I got taken in. Now I've taken a stand on as a fan magazine editor, no AI, not doing it. I support our artists we have professional artists, we have semi-professional artists, we have amateur artists who have supported us for almost 2 full decades now with art. And I appreciate their efforts. And I'm deeply concerned about this AI art until either there is legislation to protect artists, protect their copyright, or there is court cases. And I think there's going to be court cases before there's ever legislation, because there are a number of court cases in the works moving. Getty Images and other people have brought some class action stuff going on. And so I think that's going to happen sooner. And because I've taken that stand, I do not normally want to promote a company or that is using a lot of AI. So this was a great product, but I have issues with it having AI. And that brings us back to, now in talking with another expert on this, they were like, yeah, there's AI going on here. And it was with this internal artwork that the image, the drawing of the image was being done by AI and the coloring was being done by the human artist. And yeah, here we go. See, down here at the bottom of this little screenshot, starting packs. I love that they had starting packs in this. It's that these drawings were done with AI prompts. And in particular, this particular picture, he identified what the prompts were, that it was a draw, like they used Nala Suzuki as in the prompts to get this drawing. And then the artist colored it and added these, the Japanese letters. These look like English letters. That looks like a B-I-G maybe, big, or B-I-K. Not really sure, but these were added in because AI always has a hard time with lettering. It never does it. It never does it well. It just messes it up, and it just doesn't know. So this was done by the artist. The coloring was done by the artist, but the drawing was done in AI. And the artist, Nala Suzuki, apparently is this artist. This is what they turned me on to, was draw in this style. This is this artist actually goes by the name of Faraz Zoglami. And so they were asking that, they were saying that, draw in this style. And so they got the drawing and then colored it themselves. And, you can see here that this artist is providing their, test sketches and showing their work. So, and I didn't want to do a rush to judgment on the AI. Okay. But as I dug into this a little bit more, with this company, I started to notice there were some clues in some of the other products I downloaded that made me think, I think there's some AI writing going on here. Not 100% sure. And so that forced me to dig deeper. And then I came across Star Smuggler, and I thought, ooh, Star Smuggler, right up my alley, because it's billed as a light space opera role-playing game. At the very least, I'll steal something from the game to use in Star Frontiers, right? Or this, might be a good set of rules. I might just try it out. So in doing the preview, when I looked at the preview, I started looking at some of this art going, this piece in particular really reminded me of some pieces of art I produced through AI when I was first checking it out, first trying it out. And so I went, ooh, I'm seeing some stuff here, some similarities, stuff I did. And, hard to tell here, but maybe. But then I got to this one and I went, oh, yeah. I mean, look at the hand on this frog. 6 fingers. And AI always screws up the fingers. We got an arm missing. This is another classic thing that AI does. It sometimes doesn't know what to do with anatomy and it messes it up. And then we got this weird bump appendage hanging off the calf of this frog figure. And so then the feet, AI does a lot of feet on creatures this way. And so I was like, oh yeah, This is AI. There's just no doubt about it at this point. And then I started looking at the hand on the guy. And let's blow it up. That hand's just funky. Well, it's messed up. Another classic signal of AI. And then what's wrong with the guy's neck? He's got no neck. Just something wrong with that neck. Where'd the neck go? So some anatomy issues definitely in this picture. And that's when I went, all right, this guy, Tim Andrews, is, clearly using AI in his work. So, first I was just looking at AI art. But as I'm looking at various products put out by Doppelganger Publishing, I'm looking at this 100 artifacts to uncover in space opera. And I just was out of curiosity because I do a lot of space opera. First of all, the hand, what is going on with that right there? Is that guy's hand? It's a mess. Are those fingers? I thought it was. Here, let's blow it up. Is that guy's hand? Is that a gloved hand? I no idea what that is. And I thought that was a hand. I'm not even sure what it is now. And so I just thought, oh yeah. And, then this guy's arm is way too long, for this body. And I think a human artist would know that and, wouldn't have done that. I think a human artist with the apparent level of skill that's being demonstrated here would not have made this anatomy mistake here. I was originally looking for, art, the planet's messed up in the background, something AI tends to do. And then I started reading just because out of curiosity, what sort of artifacts do they have for space opera? We get an astral tunneler. Well, astral travel is kind of one of those fantasy things. And I thought, that seems odd. And you're going to put these two things here to pull me into space opera. You need things that are going to scream space opera. And these don't do that. These scream generic fantasy to me. And so then we have number 42 is the Wyvern's Eye. It's a small dragon-shaped amulet that glows with an otherworldly light. The Wyvern's Eye can detect hidden treasure and rare resources. It's highly prized by prospectors and treasure hunters. It's straight out of fantasy. This is not space opera. And that made me go, are we using AI to write these D100 lists of things? Because my experience with AI writing is it doesn't really understand genre many times. And so it will give you some wacky stuff when you say, all right, give me, 100 NPC, give me 20 NPCs from my space opera game. And, it'll be like, such and such wood elf, blah, 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 and it's like, no, I don't want wood elves, space opera, dummy, space opera. So AI, when it tries to help you write for RPGs, it doesn't always understand. And that's what I think's happening here, because this is absolutely a fantasy magic item, the Wyvern's Eye. This is for fantasy. This is not for space opera. Or you could say, well, actually it is for my space opera, but if you're trying to market 100 artifacts to uncover for space opera, give me something really sci-fi. You don't pick some random thing like 42 and go, well, good enough. But you would if you were just having AI write it and you were just going to grab a couple of random samples because you didn't pay attention to what was in it. You were just doing it on the quick to bang out because you're looking to bang out new product every month and you're using AI to do it. So this made me begin to suspect the whole AI writing thing. This one I paid $1 for. I went ahead. I just wanted to, when I was doing my research, I wanted to look at another document with art by Tim Andrews. This was a Tim Andrews cover. And I suspect there's probably quite a bit of Photoshop going on. And I did not run this one through the AI detector. But what I went looking through here for, so as I read that description, I came to this sentence at the end, and it said, in the neon lit streets of the cyberpunk world, crossing paths with Mindbender Monroe is a chilling encounter where the boundaries of free will and control blur into darkness. Nice statement, I thought. Okay. And then I, picked another random thing, and this was for Dr. Sophia, the neural weaver Reyes. And at the end, it went, in the cyberpunk world, crossing paths with the neural weaver Reyes is a mind-bending experience where the boundaries of consciousness push their limits. And I thought it was getting a little repetitive. And I started noticing throughout this document, a lot of these entries have this statement at the end. It's very formulaic. And I didn't think a human being was going to write these statements for 100 entries. I think that this is AI writing going on here, that the tone sounds like ChatGTP to me, because I've worked with ChatGTP, and I'm like, yeah, so that sounds like it. Not only that, I then scroll down to this. Now, you see the format here of 2 columns, and it's just, whoop, they just hit return, and they don't leave an extra space between the entries. But then we come down to the next page, and wow, they left a big jump there. That is 3 lines left blank between 17 and 18, and then at the end of 18 again another 3 lines. And so this is a layout mistake on the part of the layout artist that they did, which is very not professional. And I was like, well, but what would cause this is if you're doing copy and paste from ChatGTP and you're actually picking up an extra line or two in ChatGTP, blank space lines, and then pasting over. And so that's the kind of thing that happens when you're doing a copy from ChatGTP, pasting to a document. You get these extra lines, and if you don't go through and edit it carefully, you would end up leaving these in, and these would be a telltale that you were doing copy and paste from one source to your document. And I think that's evidence of that on the part of this company, and it's inconsistent. You see here, we're scrolling down, they're just no jump. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're leaving 2 lines and leaving 2 lines again. And so it's very inconsistent with this. Let's pick up another one. So here's another one, number 37. Her charismatic personality and iron-fisted leadership style make her both feared and respected in the corporate world, earning her the nickname the Electric Empress amongst her rivals. So again, very, very much the style in which ChatGTP likes to do it with its writing. Here we have, in the cyberpunk world, crossing paths with Shadowrunner Reyes is a risk few are willing to take. Reyes, Ethan Reyes, corporate saboteur. So it's it's got a suite of names that it's drawing from, and we get Reyes again. And you would think that a human author would not be doing repetitive Reyeses, that they would be, be a different name, unless you're going to write in that Ethan Reyes and the other Reyes are brother and sister. I suppose you could do that. But again, I just think that this was not well edited, that AI was used to write it and quickly banged it out, slapped some AI art on it, and boom. And so this is what I think this company is doing. So as I dug more and more into the company, it became evident to me that I was not going to be spending money. And um, again, one more document. And you can see here, this is another layout mistake. This is really a rookie move right here because you've got Doppelganger Publishing and you can't read the names because of the black silhouette that's behind it. And it's same with the logo. You can't see half the logo, the company logo, because this is a total rookie mistake. And that should have gone over here to the side. This would have been a good location over here toward the side of so that you had the blue of the planet behind it. Total rookie mistake. But you get down here and I started reading some of these entries and I thought some of these just sounded weird. Like these wasn't written by a human. I just think these were plot hooks made up by a computer again. I mean, 93, a ship of a famous music band has a neutron gas pedal trouble. And I'm like, what is a neutron gas pedal? A huge ship carrying belligerent insectoid aliens. Oh, sure. That one's not a problem for me. 95. This one cracks me up. Part of the landscape is caught in a circle of deformation, as if an undetectable black hole was sucking it in. If a human writer was writing this, they would say it was sinkhole, not an undetectable black hole. And it's because AI does not understand. It doesn't understand what it's saying sometimes. 98 asteroids detach for no apparent reason from their circle of gravity and fly towards you. That's a weird thing to say, their circle of gravity from their orbit. Suddenly leave their, or it's just weird. Asteroid field not supposed to be there. All right, I could buy that. It's the whole scene in Star Wars. We came out in an asteroid field. Where's Alderaan? It's not there. It's totally been blown away. That can't happen. What happened? Yeah, that's no moon. That's a space station. I could go with that one. An ancient transmitter emits a little music. Number 85. Now, this one really strikes me as funny, and you would not write this for sci-fi. A huge golden statue of an ancient goddess silently crosses the universe. Not the galaxy, not the sector, the setting that the players are in, the universe. So there's a gold statue out there crossing the universe. Well, great. You're never going to see it. You're in a galaxy. It's crossing the universe. You're not going to see it. I mean, how big is that statue? 100 meters, 200 meters, 100 kilometers. Great. If it ain't in your galaxy, it's crossing the universe. You're not seeing it from your setting. It's immaterial. It's stupid. Okay. A huge, this massive thing is crossing the universe. You got a telescope that lets you see it, and we recognize that goddess. It's coming from some point over there, crossing the universe, going by your galaxy, and yet you somehow that's a goddess. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And then 97 here. 97 is a fun one. You receive a message warning you that the area is under curfew and that all interplanetary travel is prohibited. When's the curfew start? When the sun goes down? Because the sun's always out in space, right? So I mean, this makes no sense to me. It really makes no sense. There shall be no interplanetary travel after curfew. When's curfew? When the sun goes down. Okay, as long as we see the sun, we can travel. So yeah, I just too much of this came off smelling like AI writing. And thank God on this last one, we found it on Scribd, and I just downloaded it and was able to check it out. And then I'm like, okay, good. I'm not wasting $1 on that because too much of it was stupid. Too much of it made no sense from a space opera sci-fi standpoint. And that's because AI doesn't understand genre. Maybe it will in the future. Maybe it will in the future, but it does not now. And so this just represents the best that AI can do. And a human author would be a little more discriminating and would not make such silly statements like a huge gold statue of a goddess crossing the universe. Okay. You're never going to see it. You'll never see it. Okay. You'd see it if it's crossing your solar system. You're not even really going to see it if it's crossing your galaxy. You won't see it. It's immaterial. It's stupid. It makes no sense. So AI writing is, I suspect a lot of AI writing. So I bought on nostalgia. I saw Eddie the Cyborg and I went, oh, cool. And I clicked too fast and bought. And if I'd done my due diligence, I would have said, no, don't want to support this. Now, if you don't have a problem with AI, and I know there's those of you out there disagree with me on it. Cool. Okay. I actually think that Neon's Nightmare is not a bad rule set for what it does. Almost too minimalist in its rules, but it meets all its other promises, and it does it pretty well. It meets its promises. It lives up to what it bills itself as. And right now, it's actually the style of game that I'm kind of like, yeah, that's what I'm interested in checking out right now. I want stuff like Swords and Wizardry Light. Very easy to pick up, minimalist rules, great convention game. Let's take it to the convention and play. Which also good for your kitchen table. People coming over, hey, we want to do something different than 5e. We're kind of tired of 5e. Let's try something different. You can pick up one of these rule sets and go. And have a quick campaign, 2-3 months, a fun diversion. And yes. So if you don't have an issue with AI, you might want to check out Neon's Nightmare. But if you do, if you also are like me and like, no on the AI writing, no on the AI art, then you probably want to maybe avoid this particular product and this company, at least until they say, hey, we're now going no AI. And they put out a statement. They put out a logo, no AI, whatever. There's various ones out there people have done. But I don't think they're going to. I think they consider this their bread and butter, and they're going to continue with this, and that's, of course, their choice. This is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room, signing out. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. Don't forget that like, subscribe, bell icon, and keep on gaming. Be careful. Be careful. If you don't want to be supporting AI, careful. Don't do the nostalgia purchase like I did without checking things out a little bit deeper. And I could have figured out that I didn't want to spend the money if I'd only looked and I hadn't been so emotional, reactive to that nostalgia button of Eddie the Cyborg. So I got taken, gave me a video. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep on gaming.